So this is definitely going to be the first year of 2018. Why? Because it is currently 7:34 as we speak. So, yay. Way to end this year off with one more procrastination. If you close your eyes. So, Little Masters, it's Master FY24 here, and sorry, I was distracted by something over there. Okay, but today we're going to talk about 2017 as a year. Why does it feel so hot? Like, I didn't even have a heater on, and I feel like I can't breathe. Hold up a second. Okay, that feels a little bit better, but you might hear some background noise, like, in other rooms, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. So, today we're going to talk about this year as a whole. So, the first thing that I want to address is, how was my 2017? Was it good? Was it terrible? Like, was it kind of neutral? Like, how was it? To be honest, 2017 was actually, for me, I feel like a pretty decent year. I feel like, for one, I have made awesome friendships, like a lot of new friendships throughout this entire year, and I think it was pretty awesome, and it's been pretty fun and great. And even with the people that I was friends with already, I just felt like I got even closer with them. So I think this was a pretty awesome year for me. Obviously, I'm not saying that my year was necessarily perfect, but it was a pretty decent year. I mean, obviously, not everybody's year is going to be perfect, but for me, 2017 was actually, I feel like it was pretty decent. I can't think of something that would make 2017 as a time period just really terrible, I feel like. At least for me. Maybe for the world, it probably wasn't that great, but, just for myself, I think it's been a pretty decent year for me. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I do want to say, I know that there's a lot of people out there. My camera's almost dying. Hold up. Now, I will say that while for me 2017 was a pretty decent year, I know for a lot of people 2018 wasn't that great of a year. And if you are one of those people, I must say, for one, whatever caused this year to be really terrible for you, or whatever the case may be, I do feel pretty bad for you, and I wanted to let you know that I'm there for you. And also, to the people who want to claim that 2017 was so bad and so terrible just to kind of fit in with everybody, because it seems kind of trendy and cool to, be like, oh my gosh, my life's terrible, 2017, oh my gosh, totally terrible, then you, person, needs to, reevaluate your life decisions, because, I feel like the people who haven't had that great of a time this year should, I think that, they should get some more positive vibes around them and, get their spirits lifted. And you, my friend, are not doing that if you want to act like, you were having such a bad time when in reality you were having a pretty decent time. Like, come on now. Like, it's one thing to say that I'm there for you or I understand where you're coming from. It's another thing to act like something that affected you when in reality it didn't really affect you. So now that we have those two things out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about are things that should be removed, or things that should just be stopped, or things that should die, or whatever the case may be in 2017, so that way it doesn't move on to 2018, because I don't want this stuff to continue on in 2018. It should be left behind in 2017, and we just move on. Oh, I should also mention this is actually legitimately water. I just realized as I'm talking about New Year's, and then you see this, you're just like, MacArthur, what are you doing? This is water, okay? Trust me, my mom would not allow me to do those kind of things. It would not be pretty, I'm just saying. I'm letting you know right now, she would not be having it at all. The first thing that should be stopped or whatever in 2017 is dabbing, because here's the thing, dabbing was never cool in 2017. So for any of you who think it's going to be cool in 2018, I don't know, get your head checked, I'm sorry. Because dabbing, it's not cool. was cool for probably a short amount of time, and yet you saw people like the Paul brothers, you know, I'm looking at you, looking at both of you hardcore on this one, who still want to do it. So I'm just letting you know, if you continue to dab in 2018, I will push you in front of me in case, you know, there's like a zombie apocalypse or something, so that way I can run the other way. Yeah, you're gonna be the first people that the world should sacrifice, so I'm just letting you know, okay? And you know this video got really, real intense when there's no background noise. It just stopped as soon as I said that. I don't really think why anybody still dabs. I mean, yeah, I know, some people might think that this channel and just me in general is just a cringy person. Well, let's be real here, I'd be even more cringy if I did some dabbing. And no, I will not do dabbing, not even as a presentation. I'm just not gonna do it at all. So don't even bother, okay? Like, maybe if you paid me millions of dollars, then I'll consider it, but yeah, just no dabbing. And I spilled a little bit of water on my carpet. Great! Yay, way to end off this year with a wet carpet. Good job. The next thing that should be stopped or whatever in 2017 are Instagram comedians. Now, I will say, I've actually seen some that are pretty entertaining. For example, there's this one called Anaya Perry. I think she's pretty funny. I'll leave her link somewhere in the description below. So I will say, you check her stuff out, but there's just a bunch of other people, Lily Pons and your sad crew, I'm looking at you, who thinks that it's like, these videos are great, and no. Trust me, I'm not saying that everybody who's done like comedy videos on Instagram should just be terminated or whatever. I think some of them are decent, but a lot of them are really bad, and therefore everybody assumes that every Instagram comedian is automatically really unfunny and unoriginal and blah 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 blah. But there's actually some that are actually pretty entertaining. I'm just saying. But I think the world could just use a lot less of Instagram comedians. I'm just saying. You know, it's kind of like when you're in a classroom, right? But the whole class gets in trouble even though a few kids decide to screw around and mess up or whatever. Like, you know, it's not your fault. It's just those few kids' fault. But unfortunately, it affects everybody. Don't you hate it when that happens? Yeah, I'm sorry. The world is kind of like that as well. I mean, I don't know. Wow, that's probably one of the few things in school that you'll learn that actually relates to the real world. Mind blasting. Oh my god. I'm shooketh. I'm gonna show you a few horrific pictures. If you're uncomfortable with people who eat candy and you know, by not breaking the bars with the lines or whatever, and they just straight up bite into it, be sure to look away, because I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna show you what I'm talking about. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no, just really disgusting. Like, I'm sorry, if you eat like those kind of foods in that kind of way, I just feel like you're a monster. And I just am very scared. Like, that's just not okay, okay? There are lines, okay? Like, for example, the Hershey bars, where it has like, it's practically like some weird grid thing. Yeah, you're supposed to break like along the lines, okay? It's not that hard, okay? With Kit Kats, it's like you do the breaking thing. Like, it even shows you in the commercial where it's like, it's not hard, okay? Like, it shows you how to eat these things, but yet you just wanna like, just stop, okay? Honestly, I just feel like that's the worst kind of laziness, and I just think that's very disgraceful to chocolate and just carbs in general. Another thing that should be stopped or whatever in 2017 is the idea that you should document animals that are slowly dying and not do anything about it. I'm pretty sure it's BuzzFeed is what I'm looking at this time. With the polar bears, you know what I'm talking about? Like with the pictures of like the starving polar bears. I'm pretty sure that's BuzzFeed, right? It has to be. I could have sworn it was BuzzFeed. Hold up, let me check. Okay, apparently I was wrong. It's actually National Geographic, but I could have sworn it was BuzzFeed. I must confuse BuzzFeed with other things because let's be real here. BuzzFeed is just garbage. Although I will say I love and I will continue to binge watch their Worth It series because that gets me so hungry and it makes me appreciate all the cheap food I have in my life and you know, it just makes me feel extremely grateful, honestly. Like, go you Worth It and your BuzzFeed stuff. I'm like, honestly, National Geographic, even if for some reason you couldn't help it for whatever the case may be, I feel like maybe you should have been more vocal and kind of, you know, very straightforward with like why you can't save them or whatever the case may be. Like, then we would have understand, but the public was just not happy. They were not happy about that. Okay, this isn't necessarily the people, it's just I hate that this is a thing and I need to address it, but something that should be stopped in 2017 is the fear of asking somebody out when you and that other person have been talking for a while and you guys clearly know each other and you guys, you know, it's very obvious that you guys have things for each other and everybody around them knows exactly, like, you know, how you two are pretty much into each other, and yet one of them won't ask the other one out. Like, I don't think it's that hard. I can imagine, like, especially if you know that the other person, like, I mean, I don't know, do I need to tell you? Like, sometimes people will just be honest, like, wow, I mean, this person really likes you, or, you know, to the other person, that person really likes you, and yet no person in that, you know, that twosome or whatever, that pair doesn't do anything. Like, that person just doesn't do anything. It's just, I feel like it's not that hard to, you know, go up to somebody who clearly likes you and you like them. I don't think it's that hard to be like, hey, want to be my girlfriend? Like, I don't think it's that hard. I could imagine. Like, you know, I really don't think it's that hard. I genuinely, I don't know, maybe I'm just a different person. Maybe I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm just way more blunt than I expected, or I don't know, maybe, I don't know, maybe everybody has a lot of insecurities, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's not like, I don't know, am I the only one? Like, I really don't think so. I also really despise it when you see people who feel like they need to complain about a certain person or need to, you know, or to rant about somebody, but yet they don't address anything to that person. Like, I feel like there have been a few times where I've had an issue with somebody, or it's not even necessarily, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It could be like just, you know, something like I'm gonna talk to them about something, like good or bad or neutral or whatever. And guess what? I've done it one by one. Either I've like called them or like I've, you know, actually talked to them in person. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a bit of a difference if you want to talk to that person but also rant because maybe that person that you talked to was just like really stupid and ignorant and rude or whatever the case might be. But it's another thing to just always talk behind their back and never say anything like to their face or never address anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I felt like I've addressed things to certain people, but guess not. I don't know. I mean, I guess people don't really, you know, go up to people and just say, hey, listen, can we talk one-on-one about something? And I don't know. And finally, the last type of people, you know, something that should be dead in 2017 is anybody who's still legitimately sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, you know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. Because here's the thing. I just don't really think it's that logical to hate on somebody just because, you know, they have a certain skin color or they are a certain sex or something. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But I will say, this is where this video might get a bit controversial. So, you know, strap yourselves in. But the thing is that while I definitely don't condone anybody hitting on somebody because they're a person of color, they're white, they're not straight or not cisgender or whatever. I do agree that you should not hate on somebody because they are in fact white, straight, cisgender, what have you. Like, you know, I just don't think, like, I feel like in this day and age, like, discrimination or just prejudice or what have you, it goes in multiple directions. Like, yeah, back then back then it could have went in one direction, or, well, I mean, it did. What am I saying? Like, of course it did. But now we're getting at this point where it kind of goes in multiple directions. So I just feel like, you know, whoever you are, you just need to stop hitting on people unless it's like there's actual legitimate reasons and not because they're, you know, because of who they like or whatever the case may be. Okay, just stop.